Welcome to What's the Effie?
What the Effie?
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of What the Effie. And this is a special episode in many ways, but I would say the biggest way is that I have Birdie Nicksic as my guest. Thank you. Thank you so much, Birdie.
Thank you.
I'm delighted to have you, and I want to say thanks an awful lot for making the time.
Of course. I'm honored to be on this.
Oh, well, thank you. Hi, Pansy. Nice to see you too.
Pansy.
So let's jump in. I have had the pleasure of chatting with you a number of times and actually meeting you a number of times. And yet you're such a deep lady. You have so much that I feel I could go in a whole lot of different directions. But I'm pleased and proud that you are such a pillar in our community. I think that you've achieved an awful lot in regards to who knows you and who listens to you and what are you doing. So thank you again.
Oh, thank you for saying that. That makes me sit a little taller.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, I better. Yes, I need to not have a sweatshirt on, but it's my owner's club.
Oh, wow.
Sweatshirt.
Then
it's representing.
Yes. There you go. There you go. It's kind of funny, isn't it? That sub 2 used to be the thing and now it's the owner's club.
Well, it's all the thing, right? It's just a smaller
niche.
Yeah, more I don't know what to say. More concentrated.
There you go.
Niche. Highly recommend it for those of you who are thinking about jumping in next year.
All right. Let's start. I want to start by asking you a couple of things. Sherry has to tell us it's elite. Yep, we know. Oh. Hi, Sherry. Thanks for being here.
It's really what it is. It's magical value.
There you go.
More than, you can't imagine being, just because sub 2 pours so much into all of us anyway. Woo.
Yeah, for sure. So let me begin by asking about the movie. You chose The Wizard of Oz, and could you share why?
Yes. Do you see this? Wait, which way?
Yeah, I know. You have to kind of jostle, right, to figure out where you are. Yep, I see it. That's Dorothy.
That was a gift from one of my closest friends, whose father-in-law is a phenomenal artist. And my friend, the Paxsons, a couple, gave that to me for Christmas a couple of years ago, and I bawled.
Oh.
First of all, it's a sketch, and it's gorgeous.
It's a sketch. It looks like it was a photo or a print.
He's awesome. Unbelievably talented, this man.
Did the father do it?
So my girlfriend's husband's dad.
Oh, that is so cool.
It's gorgeous. So this movie is so special to me because my earliest, I don't remember a lot about my childhood, except for maybe some bigger moments, right? And this is something that I remember so vividly. I was sitting on the floor. Back then, the TVs were giant boxes.
Yeah.
And I was sitting on the floor, too close to the television, staring at Wizard of Oz. And I remember I was crying. She was singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I was crying. My mom happened to come into the room and leaned down and said, "Why are you crying?" And I said, "I can do that."
Oh.
And I think I was 4 or 5 at the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And that was major because I really did, as a little girl, my mom would walk around the house and clean, and she would always blast Carole King or Barbra Streisand or who was the other one? Anyway, singers, female singers that she really liked. And I would learn the music. I learned the words to all the songs. And so then I started to sing, and I just knew that I just liked it and it sounded good. I knew I sounded good. So anyway, that was sort of the
Beginning.
onset. Yes.
Well, that's interesting. I
Mhm.
didn't realize that that was hand done by you. Wow. You know, it's interesting. This is a very minor thing, but still, I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I was just starting to put some things up on the walls and such. I'm still unpacking, and I came across when my kids were doing, commercials and some print work and that sort of stuff in New York. We used to go to bookstores, and I liked antique bookstores.
Yeah.
And I have 3 and older versions of The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, wow.
No. So I
What do you mean? Like videos or?
books.
Oh, no way.
Yes, way. This is the jacket. So it shines a
That's
bit too much.
gorgeous.
I know. The illustrations are incredible.
Wow. Wow.
And the
I need
next
to get
time I
my-
see you, I'm going to be carrying this, because this is going to be for you.
I can't. Oh, stop it.
No, seriously, look at it. You're going to love it.
Oh, Effie, I'm over the moon.
I am
That is
honored.
so
I am
meaningful.
honored because, I've said to myself, why did I buy 3 different, like I like the Wizard of Oz, but why did I buy 3? And I've always had them. And now I know one of them was meant for you.
I'm choked up. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It'll
That's
be fun.
so sweet.
Yeah, and I think you're going to enjoy it. It's fun to look at. It's nice when we see these things from age. It's not like hand done the way that the frame behind you, but
Oh no, but it's just such a magical. That movie was so magical in so many different ways for so many different people. The production quality when they first made the film was considered out of this world.
oh, totally. It was so cutting edge. Now, it's interesting because the book was the previous generation.
Yeah.
So,
It
like for
kinda
us, it was the
through,
movie.
right. It came through a few machinations, I think, of versions of itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyhow, I thought that was kind of cute. And
That is, I can't wait to see it. That means so
it'll
much
be
to
fun.
me.
It'll be fun. Anyhow, so talking, you said you didn't have a lot of memories about your childhood, but
No.
tell me what you do remember. Where were you born?
Oh
What kind
my
of
God.
family were you in? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I was born in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, okay.
And my parents got divorced when I was 5, and we moved a lot when I was a kid. So I basically moved every year of my life.
Who did you live with?
I lived with my mom,
Okay.
and we moved to a different house. And so I went to different schools almost every single year of my life until I was in 7th grade. And then I was in the same school for 2 years. And then we moved again, and I was in the same school.
A
For
little
2
bit like being an army brat.
2 years. Yes.
It's hard on children. It's hard.
Well, yeah, I look back now though, and I say, yes, it probably was hard, but I also know that it really sharpened. And I say this all the time, but I really believe that I had multiple guardian angels. Like I had, I feel like I was able to make good friends. And I was always attracted to the kids who seemed to come from really solid families.
Oh,
So I'm
nice.
really grateful for that. And I think the moving helped me become very adaptable, very malleable. And I learned how to read a room very quickly. So I would go into a new school and I would learn very quickly who it was that I wanted to be friends with, who I didn't get a good feeling from, how to get the best kind of attention, which was being the best student I could be, being funny, and being athletic and being smart. So I kind of thank God, really. Like I was able to hone in on all of those things that really, I think, catapulted me into using the gifts that I have, that I naturally was given, and then I was able to nurture those and grow in those. And I think that foundation became the reason I was able to be a working actress.
I think that's very interesting. It's one of the positives of moving around. It happens to everyone. Sooner or later, you learn to listen to the gut, or you should listen to the gut,
Yeah.
and read the room, as you put it. But having the practice of starting fresh every single year, or very often, probably did manage to develop that at an earlier age than if you had just been in one place.
Sure.
And I think that it's interesting that you felt comfortable within yourself to be able to know who you were going to gravitate to and who you weren't.
I think I was comfortable. I don't know, actually. I think it was more of a survival mechanism when I look back now, because I know that I also developed some bad patterns.
Like
being very, well, I'm going to say this and it's not going to sound like a bad pattern, but I was very reliant upon myself, which is great. Except then when you get to a point in time in your life where you want to be a team player, I was a track runner, but I did play lots of sports, volleyball, whatever. I always felt the weight of everything was on me. And so I started creating a very self-reliant, I can do it. And so I began to sort of have this, maybe a little bit of anxiety. And I had a very high bar that I set for myself. So it was very, very hard on myself because I did not feel like I could rely on or count on anyone else. If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. It does.
So then I began and then when it became time to, and by the way, I was not very cute as a kid.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to say,
believe this person
I promise
that she wasn't cute, and she's given me evidence of. I think this is so hysterical. All right, guys, here's a picture of her where she feels like she should, hide. I'm like, what? All right, here we go.
You're going to share it?
I am. How old were you?
6. I think I was 6.
All right. Yeah. So you had just lost that front tooth.
Couple of them.
Yeah, and you're feeling like, but aside from the teeth, which we all lose.
Oh, yeah.
Your bone structure and your hair and everything is beautiful. Now, I always envisioned you as having been a blonde, and yet you were a brunette, huh?
Well, my hair started getting dark right at this age. So I was a towhead as a little kid until about 5. It started to get brown, and then it kind of got red. So I had a lot of sort of red in my hair. And then it got, sort of auburn, I guess you would say. And then, so in the summer times, it would lighten and it would become very strawberry-ish, more lighter. And then, but it really was kind of auburn up until I moved to Los Angeles. And then I had an agent who said, because I had a lot of hair. I had short hair most of my life. That was the longest my hair ever got. And it just kept getting shorter. Wow. Okay. So then in high school, I let it grow out. I think my junior year in high school. And I didn't realize how much hair I had. So when I decided to grow it out, it kind of went like this. And then it fell. And thank God it was like the popular in the 90s when big hair was very popular. Right. So thank God, because I had it. And I had no idea. And it came out like curly, like Rosanna Dana, if you remember that character on Saturday Night Live. I do. Yep. So anyway, so then I had an agent who said, you need to cut your hair and color it like red, like make it lighter or whatever. So then I did it. And then it kind of just whatever from there. I colored it.
When did it now are you with your natural hair color now?
Yes, this is natural.
Wow.
So 2.5 years ago, I moved to Charleston 4 years ago. And I got to the point where everyone kept saying, you should let your hair go. My hairstylist, I had the same hairstylist in LA for 22 years. And she would tell me, like, you're 85% gray. And I didn't believe her. And then 5 years later, she's like, yeah, I think you might be 90% gray. And I was like, I don't believe you. Keep coloring my hair. But it would take forever. My hair did not want to, after a while, it doesn't really want to hold the color. So I was in her chair every 3 weeks. And when you're an actress and you have an audition on a Tuesday, you could have another callback to that same group of people 3 days later. So you always had to have your hair ready. I mean, it was a lot. So I just decided a couple of years ago to let it go. And I cheated. I stripped it. And then I stripped it again. And it just like made my hair like straw. And then I chopped it off. And then finally now it's
beautiful. I love your hair.
I will never, ever sit in a colored chair again, which makes me happy. I did my time in the color chair.
There you go.
Yeah.
So when you finished, or when you were in high school and getting ready to finish, did you know you wanted to be an actress then? Were you already pursuing it? And what happened?
So I was a good student. I was a really good student.
Good.
And yes, I really did try to make myself like lovable in every way, which is the other part of the psychology of what I think happened to me in like my life, is that I just wanted people to like me, and I wanted them to like me really quickly. So I just came in hot in every situation, which you guys probably know that by now, just by knowing.
Yeah. But you know what? It's not over the top.
Oh, good.
And I don't know. Maybe for some people it is. Javon, speak up if you have an opinion on this, or anyone else. Yeah, Javon is here. So the thing is that I don't think it's overbearing. I think that you leave space for the other people, and it's welcoming. It's like someone is here. Okay, who is she? Oh, there she is. But it's not like you come in and you're the only light, which a lot of people would be like, oh, great. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
But no,
well, I think I can be like that too. I'm trying to learn not to be extra all the time.
Okay.
I can be extra. But anyway, I think I knew, to answer your question, I was doing theater all through high school, and I did want to pursue acting. But, this was a time where, my parents were like, I was really good athlete. So I was a very good runner, and I was really good in school. So I had options, and no one, moving to LA and being an actress, or moving to New York and doing Broadway, were like, that was scary. Like, most people were like, that doesn't sound very stable. Right. So it's like the safe thing. But I was up for it. But I didn't. There were a couple people in my life, teachers, who really said, you need to go all out and pursue it. But I think most of the people in my life were like, you need to be, smart. So I had that battle, should I, shouldn't I? So I did the college thing. I knew
Where did you go to college and what to study?
Time I was there. So so I went to a couple schools. I went to DePaul.
Oh, nice.
For a minute. And then because I had a scholarship. So I ran I was a runner. And then I went to Chapel Hill. So I ended up doing that. So, the whole time I was there though, I was in the summer times, I would go and I would do theater in Wilmington, North Carolina, where my mom lived and all that. So I really knew that I was kind of wasting time, to be honest. And that's a period of time that I think maybe it's common where people feel like, oh, I wish I could go back to that period of time between 18 and 22 and really like smack myself a couple times and whisper in my own ear, like, because that you feel like you're an adult because you're out on your own, but your brain is so not there. It's just not, you have no idea. And you can, I look at these young people now, and even within our community, the younger kids who are like investing in themselves and doing the mindset stuff and getting at it. And it doesn't seem like they're not having fun, but their heads they're mature in their vision. And even though I had big sights, I was just stuck in the moment, I guess. So it is what it is. But I would definitely say to myself now, move to Los Angeles. And I worked with some kids, on set with doing commercials, TV, film, and their parents would sit with me at lunch and say, what would you do? This is our situation. And I used to tell them, listen, this is not going to be, you're not going to want to hear this, but if you want your kid to be, if your child wants to do this, the best thing you can do is what you're doing now is you're taking them to auditions, you're showing up, you're investing in their excited desire, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to be boots on the ground doing the things, auditioning and trying to try it because it's a hard business. And then if they are 22 and they decide, gosh, I'm not getting anywhere and I don't like the way I feel, you're 22. You can start over doing something else.
Yep.
And so I always tell people, like, I'm not knocking theater school, but I kind of am. Sorry to anyone who watches this. And I'm not knocking it. I just think, because I have a lot of friends who did it and they had success. My good friend Melanie, whose husband's dad, her father-in-law did this for me. She is a very successful actress. Everyone knows her from the Disney Descendant movie. She's the fairy godmother. So she's my dear friend. She lives here in Charleston, and she went to theater school, and she went to school with John Hamm and Brad Pitt. And so, theater school's fine. But I think for most people, they major in theater and then they come out and so I say go to New York and do theater if that's what you want to do, or go to LA and try TV and film or whatever, or go to Chicago and do theater. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's interesting. That is interesting. And I'm sure that there will be the occasional person who sees this and thinks about that aspect.
Yeah.
When I had mentioned that my kids were going up to New York when we were living in Philly for casting of mainly commercials and some soaps and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hated it. I did not want to do it. I called it schlepping.
Yeah.
We didn't need the money, but my daughter got her teeth into it and wouldn't let go. And yet it was her brother that had the commercial success. So we did it until I guess he was about 5. And then he said, I don't want to do this anymore. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah. And I said, no problem. I was so glad to meet that. Yeah, it's very hard because people don't realize that, a child can't get herself or himself to New York, can't go on all these auditions. They probably wouldn't even allow you to. So it was just, I'm glad that they got out of that part, but I get it.
That's a good thing. You were there to support it when they wanted to do it. And then, you move on, but I'm just saying, and this goes into real estate too, but like, I'm just saying in my thing is like, if you know what you want to try.
Yes, I agree.
Always the best way to learn it is just get into it and do the things. Right. And you can still be studying it while you can take acting classes while you're trying to audition. Like you can do both.
Yeah. There's a lot of time in the day.
Right. Oh,
Those auditions only last a couple of minutes.
Right. So that's kind of my thing. And same thing with Sub 2, right? We all come in to the community and it was just all the favorite phrase is drinking from a fire hose. That's the phrase, right? And it's exactly that. And you're
even if shiny object syndrome,
right? And even if you've had experience in the real estate space and you understand it, some aspect of it, it's still just so much information. And then at some point you just have to like unplug and go do.
Talk to me about when you decided that you were interested in real estate and how it came, what was your path to Sub2 and what are you doing now? Have you done any lending? What about fix and flips?
Yeah.
Short term. And obviously you're going to have a podcast. And I think that is freaking awesome.
Oh, I have to be opposite. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Isn't
I'm
it?
excited to do the podcast, which, I think the premise of it, I think I shared with you, is that I'm only doing belly to belly. So my light will not turn on until I've got my guest house done and I'm having guests. My guests will come and stay in Charleston for a night or two on me.
Nice.
But you have to get here. But you have
I get it.
Free place to stay.
Are you going to say the same to Pace? Like he has to pay for his own way?
Oh, well, I mean.
He probably wouldn't even ask. New Reach would be like, yeah, go.
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't even thought about that. But I'm just saying, it's going to be a great time. I love hosting people. And so it'll be belly to belly, which that's just my thing. I want it to be belly to belly. So
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing my very first belly to belly.
Oh,
let me see, 3 weeks.
no.
And it will be here. I have no idea how it's going to go. And it's going to be with Nita.
Nice.
Very nice.
Love that.
Because we both live in this area. I hadn't thought about, well, actually,
You have a lot of good people.
I don't have a
in
guest house. I don't have money to sponsor people. But I think it's awesome what you're doing because I think that when we meet in person, it's even better. So I would imagine that belly to belly is also better in podcasting.
Yeah, I think it's there's just that energy between two people that you get, and
Yep.
and I think for me in my life, that's been something that is, you just feel like you really know someone when you're with them.
Yep.
It's different.
Yep. So when are you planning shooting for it to start?
Well, our guest house is we're working on it. So I think I would aim for next spring.
Okay.
We'll get through the holidays and then get everything set up.
Don't tell Pace, okay? Because you know that he pushed me, right?
Oh, yeah. No, I will not. I would love for Pace to be my first guest. I know he likes Charleston. So I would love to kick it off with him as my first guest, but we'll see. We'll see if the timing works out.
All right, guys, you heard it from Birdie's mouth.
Yeah.
Let's start putting it out there. Pace, you are obligated. Yeah.
So, but I I've always loved design. So I actually, when I was pregnant with my oldest, I have 3 kids. When I was pregnant with my oldest, I got my real estate license because I just thought if you want to get into real estate, I stupidly thought that's what you do. Mm-hmm. Like you learn about, I'm going to learn more about real estate by getting my realtor's license, which is not true. You basically learn how to fill out forms and to not get in trouble and how to market. And then you take a test and that's it. And so I quickly learned very, very quickly that I did not like that because I'm not an integrator. I don't like contracts. I don't like people who whine and complain over whether or not they're going to keep the refrigerator or have to pay for a refrigerator or whatever the case is. I don't like that. So, and I also realized it wasn't the buying and selling of houses wasn't necessarily my jam. It was more the design portion. So after my son was born, I started my design company in LA. I had a lot of friends who would ask me for my opinion for free. And it has started happening so much that I was helping friends here and there that I was like, I think people actually make money doing this. So I started a business and I was very busy. So for 11 years, I was acting. I was a mother of 3. And I had a design company. So I'm really good at juggling many plates. And if it's almost like the less plates I juggle, I'm not as efficient with my time, which is so weird.
Because you don't have to be.
Right.
You don't have to be. Yeah. It's when you have a lot going on where you have to be. And that's where you pull out the big guns, so to speak, and making sure everything gets done. Yes, I agree with that. When you say you had a design company, were you staging homes or designing kitchens, or talk a little bit about what that meant?
Yeah. So I basically was interior design. So I would do everything from refreshing someone's room. Like if they were like, this room is 10 years old and I need a new look. So I would start with just decorating stuff. I could do that. And I also started doing full gut remodels. So everything, like down to the sticks, whole house. And these were most of the houses I worked on. I think the least expensive was probably $2.2 million. And I worked on houses that were like $11 million. And then I went up that whole range. Of course, that's California, right? I mean,
yes. And in that price range, I hope you didn't have to worry about whether you were going to get paid.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah. Whereas,
and all of my work actually was referral. So I did not have a website. This is true.
Oh, cool.
I did not have a website. I did not have before and after pictures, which was really dumb. But now that I look back, I wish I had done before and afters, but I just was so busy. I was like, I'm getting referrals. So it kind of helped me because my clients were people I knew. I liked working with them. And then someone would come into their home and go, oh my gosh, who is your designer or whatever. And they would hire. So it eliminated the marketing aspect for myself. It eliminated me having to sit with them, interview them as clients and them interviewing me as a designer. And it also cut through the fluff of like, well, I know if you're friends with her, I'm not saying we'll get along great, but like the odds are more in my favor that I will like working with you versus some random person contacting me through a website.
Right.
And I don't know what their personality is. And I, again, was busy. I had 3 kids and I was an actress. So everyone I worked with knew I was an actress, which also made it easy because if I did have to work on set for a week or 2 or whatever, they already knew that I was going to handle it. I had an assistant for a little bit and I could handle their things. So
nice. Very nice. So when did you turn your attention to actually the brick and mortar, so to speak, of real estate, as opposed to, design is very important, but it's more of a soft skill. Did you ever do any fix and flips or loans or buying? Yeah. That's the hard, right? Like you own it.
Yeah, we did fix and flips. We did our own, but more not for a business, more just because we knew we would make money. So flipping we like this house. We'll hold it for 3 years. We'll sell it. We'll make a profit, that kind of thing. So
interesting.
So my husband and I did that. But I would say, so when we left Los Angeles and came to Charleston, I really didn't know. I knew I would continue to audition, but I really didn't know kind of where I wanted the design thing to fit into my life if I wanted to do it. Hi, Gabriella.
Hola.
So it took a minute, and it was not until January or February actually of 23 that we joined. So we've been in it for a little over a year and a half now. And I just knew we just knew that real estate was something we wanted to invest in. And at first I actually went into Grant Cardone's world.
You did?
I did. I know.
That's pretty heavy duty.
It was like, go big, go big. But that was like, you know what it was? It was enough to get me excited. But I also knew we're not passive investors. We're more active investors. So I knew that just being an accredited investor in one of the funds was not going to be exciting enough for me. Like I want to have my hands on it. Mm-hmm. I want to know the ins and outs of it. That's how my husband and I both are. So so that didn't take, but I did feel like I learned at least the vocabulary of multifamily. And so then I found PACE, and I found Gator first. And then like a week later, I was doing the Gator things, and sub 2 kept coming up, and I looked that up, and I was like, oh, this is what I really want, because Gator is great, but I don't understand any of these other things. So all of the creative investments, I needed to understand the language of creative before I was going to give my money to anybody. So
I did the same thing. I came in contact with PACE through Gator, and I joined it. And then he kept saying sub 2. I was like, what's that? And then when I started looking into it, I was like, oh, this is his baby.
Right.
And that's when I joined. So, yeah.
Yeah, me too. So anyway, that's how we did it. And
you came from the Grant Cardone family. Were you buying? I mean, I shouldn't say were you buying. I shouldn't say forget the investing. I agree with you. It's one thing to put your money in it and say, okay, my money's there. It's another thing to say, get your hands dirty. So did you get your hands dirty? Did you actually get involved with, multifamily in any way, or have you?
Not then. So we have, my brothers-in-law so David's family, we have a couple brokers and a couple agents in the family. So
where are they?
They are in Northwest Indiana, actually, not far from you.
Oh, okay.
So Valparaiso area, Maryville, Valpo. So they are all in real estate. So I hear, we would have these conversations, and there was a family kind of holdings, and
oh, good.
But David and I wanted to definitely get into, in Charleston, it's interesting because there's a lot of small multifamily here. There's a lot of duplexes, triplexes, quads, happens in a lot of older cities. Like Chicago has a lot of those.
Yep.
Also more downtown. So that part has always been interesting to us, is just getting into the smaller residentials. And we really actually started in foreclosures. So we just started, my husband was door knocking. I would jump in and be like conversation number 2 with the distressed seller. And so we started doing that, and we did have some success. It was like, really, David is really good at talking face to face with people. I'm good at it. We're a little older than maybe the typical door knocking wholesaler. So it was interesting. Like, they would answer the door if they were home typically, because they were like, oh, who are these 2 old people? They probably have
I'm sorry.
It's a flat tire. Let me open the door and help them.
Right. I think they need help.
We were very unassuming. And so it ended up working out okay, but it wasn't, that's a grind. And Nita's amazing, and hats off to her. It's something that I think.
Well, she's also scaled it, right? She has it down. She's been doing it for 7+ years. That might very much have been a grind from time to time, but I think at this point, not that it's easy, but she has it down, and she has the support of the community. She's got. Gabriela says 8 years. Thank you, Gabby. So I think by the time you've done something that long, you're going to be much more able to have it and able to have the right kind of people. So I get it. Yes. How many foreclosures did you get? Any?
Oh yeah. Yep. We stopped probably. Oh, I wish David was here. I think we probably stopped 7 or 8.
Nice.
Which
in
I know
your area.
Right? Yeah. Only here.
Good.
And then we just started to discover, we really ultimately want to buy and hold.
Yeah.
So, which carries me to kind of where we are now, which is, at first we were using our own funds, and just because honestly, it's just easier when something comes across your desk and you're looking at it and you underwrite it, and then hi, Robin. Big hugs to Robin.
Yeah. I'm happy to see her here. Very happy.
And me too. So when a deal comes across your table and you kind of quickly look at it and go, well, this looks like it could be good. And then you put it into a calculator and you really discover like, this is great. And you know that other people are seeing the same deal. You kind of go, okay, we got to, it's
pull the trigger
and it's your own money.
Yeah.
So, and then you get the returns. Like sometimes it wasn't like a good deal to fix and flip or whatever. So if we knew some people here that were looking for fix and flips, anyway, we would make like 60% return on our money in 40 days. Like why would you not do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can't scale. So eventually now we're at this point where we need to partner with people. Because the deals are.
How big is your portfolio at this point?
Right now we've got we don't have that many doors. 5.
Okay. That's good.
Not great. It's not bad.
It took me 2 years to get my first one and it
yeah.
Anyways, and I'm still thinking that it's a step in the right direction, girl. It is. It's hard. So
I'm also really super, I'm risk averse. This is the other thing that I've discovered. I don't like to do anything unless I know it's a grand slam, which means I just don't. And here's my whole thing.
That gives you space.
I'm going to partner with someone, which I just got a partner like last minute, Wesley Pipes, who's awesome. He's now a partner on a deal in Savannah that we're doing. So
nice.
But my point is like, if I'm going to have someone else's money involved in my life, I take that so seriously and it makes me sick to my stomach to even think about. So if I can't buy them out, in the back of my mind, I know we could do something to just buy out their position if things got sticky. So if I can't buy them out, or if I don't know for sure that the underwriting is so good and that there's so much spread, I'm not interested. I'm risk averse, which I know probably keeps it slow.
But it's safe.
But I would rather sleep at night and I'd rather hit. Yeah. I'm hitting for the fence all the time. Like I want grand slam. I want to win the World Series. Go Cubs. I don't know if it'll ever happen again. Yeah. But I'm a Cubs fan.
There you go. Well, the thing is that I can understand what you're saying. It was interesting for me to read a post that Angela had made about, wanting to see if she could get some deals. And the response was, like, oh, are you interested in partnering? And she's like, no, I need to own 100%. If it's anything less than 15 million, I need to own it all. And I stepped back and I said, yes, that's good that she knows herself. And she's like, if it's major, I'll think about sharing the ownership. But if it's less than 15 million, I got to be the owner. So only bring it to me if you want a fee or, something of that sort. I'm not having you as a partner. I thought, and she had partners when she first stepped in. She did take some partners. And, all it takes is one or two that don't quite go the same way. And you don't want to do anymore. And if you don't have to, why would you?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I really want somebody to I want to partner with people that I know a little bit or that know me and I can get to know, and they're good with me. I do like to run it's like I'm managing this deal in Savannah. I'm 2 hours from Savannah. I go there all the time.
About it. What is it?
It's a duplex. And then there's a empty lot that conveys behind it.
Nice.
That we're going to build on another duplex. So
good.
4 doors. Yeah. So that's exciting. And also because it's downtown Savannah and it's delicious. So, and I knew that there were people even up to just not like today, there were people calling and asking, if it had closed. Like people saying, I want it, let me know if it falls out, calling the attorneys, or the listing agent and asking for it. So I knew it was a good property, but then when people are, knocking on the door still to the last minute.
Now, has it closed at this point?
We're closing tomorrow morning. We're supposed to close on Friday. We're closing tomorrow morning.
Good. Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Leah. Hi, Leah. Leah's like, I'm so excited for that property. Yeah. You want to go stay in it?
There you go. So tell me about other things. Did you do any lending or borrow?
Yeah, we've done a couple of loans. We've done a couple things there, and they didn't go great. So I don't know that we'll do it again. I just think maybe we just invest in our own deals. We'll see. I'm not 100% sure, but for now.
Yeah. And it is discouraging, especially if you end up, lending to, OGs, people that are supposed to have had a fair amount of success and they've got a lot of visibility and, and you think, okay, I'll be safe. And then you find out, oh, no. I had
really, what happened? You've obviously had this experience.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, I also chased some leaders, I had chased Don, who had been in at the very beginning, DON. Anyhow, and I thought, I got to do business with him. I have to do business with him. Didn't happen. And I'm really glad it didn't. Because it turns out, not that long ago, not good. People change, of course, and their situations change. There's no doubt about it. But I think I've done some lending, and I will continue to. But I got to be super, super conservative in my lending, and I have to really trust the people and like them. Like the morals and the ethics are as important as the deal, but the deal has to be really good. I'm not looking for any thin margins. I want.
Well, the deal has to be good, and it's really more, it's like deal based, right? Is it a good deal? But then you have to equally look at the person. Do I know the person? Do I know people who've also partnered or invested with them? Because I do think, and I was just talking to somebody else about this, I do think that there are people who have borrowed money, who've gotten themselves in a pickle, not their fault, because it can happen to anybody.
Yep.
But what the key element of this is, how available are you to have a conversation? How communicative are you? And how willing are you to put the lender's money before anything else you are focused on? In other words, if you owe money to someone, it's tricky because you then sometimes see those people out doing other deals. They're like, do this deal with me. And there's a part of us, I think, that go, wait a second, don't do a deal with that person. They're not even paying me back. But I had this happen. I got upset about that in our situation. But then I thought, you know what? That person at least is trying to make money. It helps me if they're able to continue their business. So I had to correct my thinking and say, listen, I might get upset and go, well, what are you asking for? Why are you asking to do deals? Well, if they don't, what are they going to do? They've got to be able to make a living. So if our deal is in the tanker and they need something to revive them, you got to hope that they're making that. I guarantee you they don't want to be in the situation they're in, even if they're crappy people.
Yep. However, the thing I worry about with that is that, are they setting themselves up to rob Peter to pay Paul?
Yes.
That sort of thing. That is worrisome.
It is worrisome. But if they do it, that's not a you problem. or
That's
a me
yeah,
problem.
I
That's
know.
a them problem. And if they're going to rob Peter to pay Paul, it's going to be a pattern that eventually comes out and then they eventually get squashed.
Yep.
But it's
I
like,
agree.
it's
I do
hard.
agree. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. The one that chafes me the most is when you see a borer, especially with high visibility, that is not performing, and yet, they're going to Disneyland, they're buying their children cars and things, and you're like, whoa.
Mhm.
That's where I feel like if they're going to borrow money, they
Yeah.
really need to put that, lender in
Right.
front of those kind of,
100%.
yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And that's one of the
I
reasons
agree.
I don't like borrowing either. I was speaking with someone today who wanted to know, would I do a deal on something? And I said, no, I wouldn't. What about being a connector? I said, no. When I do connecting, I don't take money for it. I want to make sure that if I'm going to connect you to something that I think is really good, you're going to know it because I'm investing in it. So it's like, hey, Birdie, I'm investing in this.
Mhm.
Are you interested? Because it's good, that sort of thing. Now, if I have money in it, even if I were to take, something on top of that, if my money's in it, then I think you're going to feel differently than if there's not. This
Totally.
transactional, connecting. Like, I know you and I know you. I'm going to put you together. I've got nothing in it, but here you go. Pay me. I can't do that. I don't want to do
Yeah.
that.
I think that's just a personality thing. I actually have sent some deals to connectors because I know that I don't on a regular basis do outreach to lenders. I don't have the Rolodex of lenders, which I'm working on now. Like, I've pivoted now that I just had this deal that someone did not pull the trigger on the funds, and I waited too long, which was my fault. And then I had to put out a public service announcement to see if anybody wanted to be partners with me. And
I bet you got nothing.
huh? I know.
Kidding.
And then
Teasing you. They would have been like knocking each other over.
no, but I did not like being in that position, and it was my fault for waiting so long. I learned something, but the point is to remedy that, I am going to start talking to people who do like lending on deals, whether it's fix and flip, buy and hold. What are they lending on? I've got a project I'm doing like with Doran Levy downtown in Charleston. And I'm really excited. We're going to partner on it and we're going to raise capital.
Nice.
And I'm going to learn, I just have to get comfortable doing it.
Yep.
And I feel really good. My husband and I did this amazing, we're still doing it, boot camp with Michael Manatsakanian.
Oh, nice.
And he has it. In fact, it opens up November 1st. People can join it. It's called Intentional Investor.
Intentional
Investor. Yep.
Now,
and I'm telling you, it is so good. I was really, Michael, he talks as fast as he thinks, and it's just like turbo speed.
You got to slow him down sometimes.
I mean, it's, like, think like a Southerner and slow down. That's what I say.
Yeah, there you go.
And, but I will tell you, it has really, made me sit still and look at the parts of our business that we've just been like, it's just chiseled us down to a very, high level focused systems and processes. It's been really good. It's been really good. So I feel way more confident now having the tools that I have to be able to go out and raise capital and kind of create a Rolodex of that. So
do you want to tell our audience how they can get in on this, or is it already closed?
Oh, no. Intentional Investor. You know what? I would go to, oh, there you go. That was good.
But there's no link there or anything.
Do
So
that?
you want to tell us about it?
You're so good. You know what? How can I post it? I can post a link. He sent me a link, but I don't have it available. Should I post it on my Instagram
Sure.
and my Facebook?
Sure, because we do need for people who haven't started yet to make sure that they're following you on
Yes.
Instagram.
Yeah.
Now, I did not see anything on YouTube, so your YouTube hasn't really gone live yet, right?
Well, I have the Birdhouse podcast. You can subscribe to that. There's zero videos.
That's okay for right now, but it's called the what?
The Birdhouse podcast. This
Okay,
sign.
because I just looked it up under your name.
Yeah. So the Birdhouse podcast is a channel on YouTube and has just my sign on it as the logo. You see it?
I don't see it.
Uh-oh.
Is it? It's not the Birdhouse. It's the Birdhouse podcast.
Uh-huh.
That's what I thought.
So
It's not coming up.
let's see.
It isn't called the Birdhouse. No, that's
No.
that's an actual bird
Yeah.
site. And
Okay,
it's
so let's see. The Birdhouse podcast.
yep. Oh, the Birdhouse podcast. Okay.
Do you see it? View channel.
Hang on a second. Before I drop this in, I'd like to make sure that it's the right one. Is this what we're looking at?
Let's see.
Hold on. I'm just trying to share screen. Is this it?
No.
Okay.
Oh, that's Burb.
Because there's no, oh, Burb. Okay,
Burb.
sorry. Yeah, I'm dyslexic
Oh, it's
there.
literally at the @ sign, the Birdhouse podcast. So let's see. And then it just says coming soon, I think.
Well, I guess I'm not that good.
The Birdhouse.
I'm not getting it for you, hon.
If
I
you
apologize.
click on, that's so weird.
Yeah. Oh, the Birdhouse podcast.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, here we come.
There it is.
All right, everyone.
But I will
Please
post.
be kind enough to go and subscribe.
Yes.
I just subscribed, and I think we should all support you. And that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing.
And
It's
I
nice
will-
when you've
I
got,
will-
like, oh my God, I have 4 people, and you're like, I'm so excited.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And
I
I'll
like the
post.
fact that you put Birdhouse together. That's good.
Yeah, I'll post Michael's Intentional Investor on my Instagram and Facebook for anybody who wants to. So it's like right now, I think, and honestly, I haven't looked at it, but I think he has it's like a wait list, but you fill out a form and then it opens on November 1st. But I don't know I'm just doing like the crunch time boot camp intensive.
Okay.
And I think that he shoots content. So it's David and I, and then another couple from North Carolina. So we've all just been like.
So is Michael in North Carolina?
Michael Manatsakanian is in, no, he's in California.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome. I would like to get more information on that.
Yeah.
It would be nice to be aware of what you guys are doing, and obviously want to support you in any way I can.
Thank you. And I am, yes, I, to go back to the comment, I'm trying to set big goals.
Good.
And I just want my husband to retire from his job sooner than later, which is hard because
What does he do?
he does well.
That's one of the best answers I've ever had. People hum and haw. How do I explain what I'm doing? And you say, he does well. That's all you need to know.
Well.
I love it. I love it. Awesome.
So I
Good.
just adore you.
Oh, thank you.
Do you want to talk about 2.0? I know our hour is up. Do you want to?
Yeah, well, I didn't never go right to the hour.
Okay.
It's either a little before or a little after, so I don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So, Birdie was the one that gave me the name on this, and I think that it's a good one. I had explained to her that I'm making myself uncomfortable, by everything that I'm doing. I'm trying to bring my business, all the different angles of my business together. My website was always used just as a domain, and now it's actually going to become a real CRM, and it's going to be, business per se. So I had talked about the podcast. The podcast has been it's been a year and a half now. And I think, hey, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, because we are at, I think, 1,500. We're very close to 1,500.
So good.
We're at 1.49. So, yeah, I need you guys to subscribe and get me to 1.5.
Let's go, people.
Yes, let's go. So I'm looking to see how can I up the game. And my son had started me off, and he did the adverts and the reels for the movies. And then I had Josh Keating, who has been very, very helpful. Thank you, Leah. And oh, yay, thank you. Maybe I got to, you might be number 150. Let's see.
Nice.
We'll see. It didn't change. So maybe I need more than
Well, you probably have to give it a minute.
Yeah, quite possibly. But anyways, can we share and sub too? Well, you can take a screenshot of this, and you can say, if you wish, please go follow her. She's almost at 1.5. All they can do is take it down. If that's the case, I don't know. You're not allowed to self-promote. I think if others promote you, it's a different thing.
On what? Facebook?
In sub 2.
Oh, it's up to you. Right.
Yeah, because originally I was, posting everything in there, and that's what Pace wanted. He was the one who pushed me. So I was surprised when all of a sudden they started getting taken down. I was like, what did I do wrong? And found out that, with the huge growth they have, they actually needed to keep it more centered on sub 2.
Yeah.
So they said no more promotion, and that's okay. That's fine. But anyways, I want to broaden the audience, and I wanted to be able to analyze what's going on with YouTube and monetize at some point, and all of that sort of thing. And that's why I have just hired a small agency, but an agency that's in that business, so they can guide me, and they can tell me what they want to do. And they were funny because they were like, yeah, we see your adverts. What's with that? I said, don't change that. So, I was a little worried.
I like them.
Yeah, I like them. Everybody likes them. They're fun.
They're so fun.
Yeah. And so I don't know exactly what the changes are going to look like, because we've had the first onboarding, but not, a whole lot of meetings, but it will be somewhat different. So
what are you going to call it?
It'll still be What the Effie.
Okay.
It might be What the Effie V 2.0.
Chapter 2 or 2. Yeah, 2.0.
2.0 or something. Yeah, it could be. We'll see about the
Or
colors.
double Effie. What the double? Double the Effie.
Yeah, really. Oh, it was so hard to get What the Effie. That was not easy.
Why?
Because it was taken. And I was like, okay, let's see. This person has posted one time in the last 15 years. I don't think they're going to see this. And I was like, hey, I'd like to buy the domain. Hey, nothing. So eventually I had to figure out, how am I going to get around it? And I figured it out, because they had the underscores, of course, between the what and the and Effie. But that was it. So I just added one last underscore. And
Smart.
that did it. But so it's exciting. In another year and a half, I would hope that I'm going to be over that 1.49, guys.
Oh my gosh, of course.
Oh, yeah, I know.
You've been so
kidding.
consistent. It's been so awesome.
Yeah, I know. They said, okay, look, just take a break or whatever. And I said, no, I have Birdie Nicksic coming. And they're like, okay. And I was like, no, I'm doing it. You don't have to do it live. I'm doing it live. So, and, yeah, it'll be interesting. Also, next week, guys, I'm having the youngest person I've ever interviewed.
Who is it?
Well, his name is Siggy, and he is 15.
Wow.
And he is in Norway.
That's amazing. And he's doing creative real estate?
He's doing social media for real estate.
Oh, nice.
I know.
I'll have my 15-year-old watch it because he really wants to get into this space. And I think it seems he's really excited about it, but then he feels like it's staring, like we all have been there, right? We're standing at the bottom of the mountain and we stare at it like it's like this, but it's not like that. It's really just like this.
Exactly.
But when you're young, you think you have to go from here and to scale the mountain on the, like,
Yeah, by pulling your own body weight up over and over and over again.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's really just daily steps. And so we're trying to encourage him. He's a really, I think he's going to stick with it, but he's hot and cold. And but I love it for him I love for him to see these younger kids doing.
Yeah. And using the skills they already have.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be interesting. I'm looking forward to that too. And that will be the beginning of 2.0.
I love that.
Well, thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay, guys, you know that she's on IG. Please, I'd love to see. It doesn't tell you. It tells me I subscribe, but it doesn't tell me anything more.
And my Facebook is my name.
It says there are 2 subscribers. I'm one of them. Okay, I'm one of the first 2.
Oh,
the rest of you, nah. You can't be in the first 2. But hurry up and get over there.
So, Instagram, but also then my Facebook is Birdie Nicksic also.
Yes, absolutely. Your Facebook. Yes, sorry about that. But I want to see the I didn't write it on here.
Let's get the Birdhouse podcast up to 10.
Yeah.
10 subscribers, guys.
Yes.
So
now that
do my first
do that, and I'm sure that will get you, for sure. Oh, Julie says subscriber number 2 here. Okay, Julie, you and I.
Thanks, girls.
Oh, that's awesome.
I could actually do my first podcast with my husband since he does live here. And I could do it, my second one with my son.
Oh, there you go. That's so cute. Okay. Robin. Whoa, girl. Do you see any poles in here?
No.
Oh, that's funny. Anyways.
That's funny.
All right. Well, thank you very, very much, guys. And we shall see you next week. And I don't know what the intro and outro will be like. So it could be that this is the last time you're going to see this particular outro. Don't know.
Okay.
Take care, guys.
Thanks, Effie.